Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. I'm back at Euston Wall once again. There's not loads that I'm going to be able to do today. I've done most of the climbs here, but yeah, I'm going to try some of the slightly different ones on some of the different walls and see how that goes with one hand. Still obviously climbing with one hand for the minute. It's going to be quite a little while longer that I have to rest, so yeah, frustrating that. I've also somewhat injured my knee yesterday running. Went for a 12k run. We did quite a quick pace by our standards, and yeah, it's a little bit niggly, so I'll see how that goes on the walls. I think it should be fine. I felt similar the other day, so I think we'll get away with it today. But yeah, no real plan for this one as usual. Just going to jump into some climbs, hopefully some ones that I've not shown yet, with one hand, and yeah, see what we can do on the walls, see how the body's flowing, how we're moving. And just try and be nice and precise with all our movement as well. So yeah, I'm going to jump into that in a sec. Just going to have a coffee first, and then yeah, we'll get into some filming later. Going to start off a little bit lighter. Going to go into this V intro and then move on to this V0 purple. But yeah, we'll start with the green, and obviously one-handed. Take it very slow. Try and move quite statically on this. Want to warm up quite gradually today. Test out the knee, test out the arm, and yeah, go from there. So just going to jump into the intro first. Yeah, happy with that. Very deliberately slow, very deliberately, very precise, and I barely use any energy through the arm, which is what I'm trying to practice at the minute. Just get my body nice and close, go slowly and kind of flow through all the moves as I go. So yeah, happy with that one. Just going to jump into the V0 now, straight away. Bit more challenging that one, obviously, V0. But I ended up turning my body to the side quite a lot more. Just felt more natural because of the way some of the holds were facing. Yeah, made me think a lot more about my body position. Basically, because there's not many feet on the left side, I had to keep tension to stop myself swinging to the left. So I had to push in that direction. So in order to do that, I ended up turning my hips to end up driving in this way, and keep my body in close to the wall. So yeah, a lot to think about on that route as well. I'm going to try this V1 in the corner now. Starts with hands on this, and yeah, obviously uses both sections of the wall. Normally I find it's a little bit tricky to do with one hand. You normally have to push off the wall in both directions to work your feet up. So I might compensate for that with my kind of upper arm and my shoulder. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do it without doing that by planning on leaning into some of these holds to the left so that I can get my feet up to the right. And once I'm there, I have to pull and press and get my feet up on the other side, but we'll see how it goes. yeah, happy with that. I didn't actually use my shoulder at all in the end. Yeah, I managed to just touch and reach the end with my tips of my fingers. Stopped me from having to get my left foot up a bit higher, which is what I was otherwise going to do, but I've had to muscle my way through that a bit more, so saved a bit of energy by just reaching a bit further on that one. And yeah, I'm quite happy. At one point in here I did a bit of a drop knee with the left foot, dropped the knee in quite a long way, which allowed me to get my body in closer to reach up more easily. So yeah, pretty happy with my technique on that. Okay, going to try this purple V0 now. Similar to the other routes, I think this is probably what I'm going to continue throughout the session. Just do the easier ones rather than the more difficult routes, and try and do them as efficiently and accurately and energy conservingly as possible is the plan. So similar to this, yeah, going to try and do this as statically as possible rather than muscling my way up. Position my body well, get my feet in the right position, hips in the right position, and try and breeze through it as much as possible. Had to muscle my way through that a bit more than I'd like to. Yeah, I tried to get my body as close as I could so that I didn't really have to pull too hard. But yeah, it was quite tricky to do that really without pulling at all through my right arm. There's a few bigger moves in that one where I had to move my body position, think about that quite a lot, took my time through it, just to get in the right position to pull to the next hold, but a little bit more physical than planned in the end. Okay, same principle. I'm going to do it on this V intro green now. Yeah, go up nice and simple. Hopefully conserve more energy than I did on the last one, and yeah, we'll see how it goes this time. Yeah, not too bad. More physical again than I thought. I guess these walls are a little bit overhung, so it's always going to be more physical on an overhung route, but yeah, relatively smooth on that one. Okay, there's another intro here. There's a couple of bigger moves, one that goes up to the left side, which will be relatively challenging because there's no feet really to the left, and then another big move from that to the right side again. So the wall is pretty vertical, maybe slightly overhung just here. So yeah, I'm going to try and do this one as effortlessly as possible once again and see how we go. Yeah, pretty flowy. Quite happy with that in the end. I was pulling a little bit hard, but what I'm doing a little bit more on some of these moves now is going again and just kind of keeping that momentum so I don't pull as hard on each individual move. I'm carrying the momentum forward from the first move to the next move to the next move. It's a good way of being much more efficient going up the wall. So I might try some other routes and do similar, where I try and flow a bit faster up the wall and pull myself in. So I'm not doing every move individually, slowly, muscly. It's much more flowy, more dynamic, more momentum based. So yeah, I'll try that on some other routes in a sec. Okay, I'm going to try this V0 now. It's going to be quite interesting. A lot of holds pointing in somewhat awkward directions all the way up. The feet are mostly good, but it obviously also goes up to the left. So with my right hand, that's going to be quite challenging to keep my body positioned and not barn door out this way. So yeah, I have to be very precise with my footwork, keep tension well through my feet to stop me from swinging out. And yeah, just give this one a go. It's on a slab wall, so whilst I might still be going with momentum, I might not need to do so as much because the wall's slanting away from me this time. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, quite happy with that one as well. I was thinking of doing a heel hook, which is why I went up quite high, but I didn't manage to get my body in a position where I felt I could release the right foot without pushing down to get into the heel. So yeah, I ended up pushing hard with the toe instead. I was pulling with my toe in this direction on that hold, stopped me swinging out once I went for the last hold. So yeah, that was quite nice. Gonna try this green V intro now, same thing. As earlier on in the video, try to do this as statically as possible. The holds, the feet, the hands, they should all be good enough to do this, so I don't want to really be pulling whatsoever at all. Conserve all my energy and go from there. We'll see how we go. Cool, something really subtle that I did that you would not have picked up on the camera when I caught the last hold. Obviously it's quite a big jug. What I actually did to stop myself swinging this way, because I think my left foot was on here and my right foot was flagging, or maybe on this one and flagging. But essentially to stop myself from swinging out from the wall this way, I was actually pushing very hard with my thumb and this part of my hand on that hold, on that side. Really allowed me to get some tension, and that through my hand stopped me from swinging out as well. So there's just quite a few different ways you can get tension on the wall that you wouldn't even think about doing. And yeah, that actually really helped me on that move for the end. So yeah, interesting. Okay, gonna jump into this black V1 now. It's a bit of a ladder really, until it veers off to the right. So a little bit of features at the end, but it should be quite simple with one hand. It's moving in the right direction for me with the right. So yeah, this one should be okay as well to do with low energy. It was a bit more tricky than I first read it to be, to go up to these holds. That hold there, the second last, is quite a long way from these two. And the feet, there's not loads, certainly in this area, which is where it would be optimal to have them. So I kind of stretched my foot quite a long way to this hold. And then I did fight a little bit when I was on this hold to pull myself up to here, which was quite tricky. But the rest of it from that was okay once I got up to that second last. Pretty straightforward from there. But yeah, I had to think quite a lot about that route. Going to try this V1 Wasp just next to it now. Might be quite a tricky first move. I think it's going to be quite powerful, and also stopping the swing on that hole is going to be tough. So I might actually use what would normally just be a foothold to go up to, just to balance to begin with, and then once I get my body and my hips across after that, I can obviously come into this hold, and that will make the swing a lot less when I get there. So from that, it'll be a case of bumping hands and getting my feet up. I think that should be okay. But the initial section here might be more challenging with one hand. Yeah, it was always tough to read that. I ended up throwing for this one. I felt once I got up on my foot, I was too upright to catch this hold. I'd have been catching it here, which would have been quite awkward. So I ended up coming out a little bit and throwing to this hold. And really happy. The way I changed my feet on this had to be really accurate, get the left out of the way and get the right on straight away, and then flag. And yeah, got the coordination right. So yeah, happy to flash that because that was quite technical in the end. I'm pretty sure I've done this before, but I'm going to do it again. I did it before in another video, but I'm just going to make sure that we still have the skills to execute it. The green V intro on this section, I'm pretty certain I did it with no hands before, so I'm going to try again. No hands at all. I've said a few times before that I'm going to try a route I think that can be done with no hands. This one I know can be done. I'm going to see if I can replicate it and do it again first try without fail. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, managed to do it again. There was a point where I was stood on, I think it was this hold. I got my foot up and then I went to stand up on it, but I saw that my knee was going to hit this and that would have stopped my momentum, pushed me off the wall as well. So I actually brought my foot back down to then go back up on the left side. Just one subtle thing that I noticed doing that climb, but yeah, nice to do a no hand slab, having said that it's possible to do with no hands for once. Okay, again, jump into this V0. It's on a slight overhanging wall, so it's going to be more physical, naturally. But it does look quite like a ladder. It looks more like a V intro, really, to me. I might end up eating those words and falling off, but I think this should be very straightforward with one hand as well. Just a bit more physical than some of the other routes, so we'll see how it goes. Oh yeah, the move up to this one was very tricky. I managed to keep tension through the feet. I cannot stress enough how much this makes you think about tension. I had to push really hard through my left foot to stop myself from swinging out. And then as soon as I released that to step through, you saw me swing out a little bit. So yeah, I'm pretty glad that when I went up to this move, the first move, I managed to not swing and come off and cut feet. Managed to keep the tension through the foot, stop myself from swinging, and then I could lessen the swing when I did change feet afterwards. So more challenging than it looked initially. Gonna try this green V intro now. Again, another overhanging wall, so it's gonna be quite challenging. Yeah, quite physical. A lot of holds off to the left side, and then a bigger move out right, and there's not many feet to the right. So that move towards the end is going to be somewhat challenging as well. But yeah, I think this one's going to be quite physical. It's quite overhung, and just the location and angle of some of the holds is going to be more challenging. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, I did something very subtle there. I don't know if anybody saw it, but when I went up for that right hand, I knew obviously this foothold is further to the left than this hold that I'm going for with my hand. So what that meant is that when I went for the catch, my body's going to swing out. So what I did, I subtly changed my foot on this from being on top to more the side, and I pulled very hard with my left foot in this direction. So what that meant was that I could stop the swing using this when I went up for that, and thankfully I could hold it for long enough that when I stepped onto this, I didn't swing out again from that point either. So yeah, quite a fun technical route, and that was a real subtle thing that I just wanted to highlight. Okay, I'm going to jump into this V intro, green. It's very, very straight, very direct. On this one, it might be the case that I use momentum again. So pull to the next move and keep that momentum flowing to get up a bit easier. I'll see how it feels when I get on there, but that's what I think is going to be the best way to climb this, so we'll see. Yeah, a little bit, certainly towards the end was more flowy. I had to sort my feet out in the lower section in order to then reset to pull again, but for the most part I think the momentum at the end really helped me get up the top, so happy with that. Okay, we're going to be a bit ambitious again. Going to try this V3 Wasp. It's on quite a vertical wall. Looks like it will be very challenging, to be honest. These holds, these eggshell holds, they're not great. And I'm going to have to bump from this one, skipping the left one, to get up to here. But once I've got my feet up, I think I should be able to cross the left hand and then bump up. But yeah, we'll see when we get on there. Is it a vertical wall? Maybe it's slightly slabby, actually. Very slight slab, which will play in my favour. But it's still going to be difficult to do some of these moves. So we'll jump in and see how we go. Might need to change my feet first, get the right on and then left flag out before I go up to that, if that's possible. But it's very difficult to stay into the wall on this hold. Oh. I think it is possible, but it's very, very tough. It's going to take me quite a few attempts to get used to the movement and get the movement right on this one. Really hard because a lot of my weight falling into that hold just based on body position. I've tried to get some tension through the right toe on the wall, but yeah, it's not really much to stop me from swinging out, so I'm going to rest and try again. Okay, happy that I got the first move there. That was challenging in and of itself. I was just really inaccurate when I went for that next move. I missed the crimp by kind of this much. Really poor. I need to get my hand up to here to actually catch it. Yeah, just got the dead point wrong, momentum wrong, and yeah, couldn't hold on to it. I think even when I get there, it's quite slopey. It's gonna be tough to hang on to that, let alone stand up again from there. But I think when I do that, I have to stand up on the right foot, flag the left out and get it onto here. And then once that's there, I can then pull with my foot to keep myself into the wall a bit more. And hopefully it's going to be a very big move with the right hand going over the top. But yeah, I think it might be doable. Stopping that swing is going to be so hard. Because I'm quite low down, I'm not in a set enough position to push with my right foot. Kind of need to lift my body up a bit more once I've caught the hold to keep the tension and push myself into the wall a bit. But yeah, otherwise I'm going to keep swinging off of that move, which is tough to hold. So I just watched the footage back. And when I go for this hold, obviously my body's swinging round. So I need to do one of two things, I think. I either need to stand up as soon as I catch that, stand up in this direction with the foot, which is going to be challenging, and it might not hold it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get my left foot up and quickly change my feet on this hold and flag out the right foot to stop the swing. Both of them are going to be very tricky. I don't know which is going to be best. I have to figure that out when I get on the wall. But yeah, it's going to be challenging to stick that move. We'll see if we can do it. Oh, that was close. I always felt like I was in a better body position when I went for that hold, that I almost didn't swing. But then I started to feel the swing come out and I tried to change the feet, but body was too far out at that point and there's no way I was holding on to that. My body had swung out too far, so really very tough, it's very technical. But I think it could be possible if I catch that with a really straight arm and I lean to the left when I catch it, that I can hold the swing enough through the foot. So see if I can do that in a sec. No. I don't think I can do that. Not today. I'm getting quite tired now. Pulling really hard into the wall. Yeah, fun challenge. I'm glad I did the first move and I got up to the second, just didn't hold it. That's kind of more than I thought I was going to get, to be honest. So quite happy with that one. That's why I like to try things that I think are going to be too challenging for me. You might surprise yourself. You never know if you're going to get further than you think or even send the whole route. So yeah, good fun. But I'm going to end the video here. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope there was some good tips in there. I know it's been quite boring. It's all one-arm climbing that I've done the last week and a half. And it's going to be similar for another few weeks. But yeah, I'll be back from my injury soon. Going hiking soon as well. So that'll be a nice little mix up from the one-arm climbing. Yeah, going to go to some lovely scenery up in Scotland. So that should be some really good footage. Get the drones up again like last time. So yeah, look forward to putting that content together as well. But yeah, that's it. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Really helps me out loads, so I really appreciate your support. But most importantly, as always, as you know, make sure you grab life by the plums, and I'll see you in the next one.